when I'm here, they're, oh, look at this Indian here, so I sort of have to be both. We do a lot of code switching, right? If I'm talking to American, ma'am, I'll talk to you, and then I'm like, hello, uncle, it's very nice to see you, and then it's back to you. Oh, yeah. So we do that code. I'm sure you guys do that code switching too. Like, who has a separate, different name at Starbucks? Anybody? All right. What's your real name, sir? Aditya. And what's your Starbucks name? Bob. Bob. Very nice. Very good. Very good. You look like a Bob. You really do. Bob from Symbiosis. No, this one girl, she was in the crowd once, her name was Sara. And I was like, that's a very good name. Well, what's your Starbucks name? She was like, Sarah. People do this. It's what we have to do to survive, And they were talking about this communication issue that Indian people have. We're very good workers, but we have trouble getting to the top because we have difficulty communicating, right? And that is sort of what we have to do to survive in this country. So it is complicated being an Indian and American. I kind of say being Indian American is kind of like eating with a fork in one hand and then using your other hand to also eat. That's how it feels like. You're doing both at the same time. And, to give you some more examples of what it is to be an Indian American, we want to be desperately American. We desperately want to be American. So we celebrate American holidays. Yes? Yeah. Like Black Friday. Just like all Americans, we will stay up very late, maybe go to Best Buy, wait in line, get the biggest, largest TV that we can. And then, as Indians, we'll never take the plastic off. Just leave it on there for some reason. I don't know why we do that. Yeah, it's resale button. Oh, very good. Resale. As if TVs have good resale. Oh, gosh. And we also love to eat American food, like very American food, like Taco Bell. Right? Taco Bell. Oh, gosh, man. Like Americans, we will go in there, we'll eat this food, but as Indians, we will seriously confuse the cashier by telling him to replace all the beef with beans. And then when they're not looking, we'll steal as many hot sauce packets as possible. What is this, guys? All right? Every one of you has a drawer. And it's just fire, medium. Some of you ladies right now have a couple packets in your butt. Right now. You have right now. They sell it at the supermarket. But doesn't feel right if you don't get it for free, right? Indian people. Oh, man, I love them. I am one of them, so I feel this. And as an Indian American, I actually really desperately wanted to connect to my roots, So actually, a lot of people don't know this. I had an arranged marriage. Yes, yeah. It was arranged by my wife. Just like most of you. Yes. But she came with a dowry. Thank you, India. Yes. $30,000. Yeah. In student debt. It's the Indian American part right there. But it's difficult now. I just had my first son that I know of. Nothing wrong. It's difficult because you want a name that is Indian, but that Goras are not going to butcher. You want something like in the middle, right? So, we were discussing all these names, which name is good. This was a couple years ago, and we came upon the name Jaden. Jaden, right? That's a good name. This was before Will Smith slapped somebody. That was a good name. Okay? And, I have a Gujarati mother-in-law, so I was like, this name, Goras aren't going to butcher this name. Let's ask her. We texted it to my Gujarati mother-in-law, and she's like, oh, Jaidan! Jaidan to bahut game chhe! So we went with Caden. But, it's wonderful being married. I'm married to a Patel, a Gujarati. It's awesome. I don't have to pay for any hotel, no AAA points, nothing. No, I just show my, like marriage certificate, and I get the presidential suite. No, I mean, these are Gujaratis. I barely get like a breakfast coupon. This guy's like Gujarati. He's like, yes. Speaking my thing, but no, seriously. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And these Gujarati parents, when I first got married, this was before Three Idiots, and I was like, I was on The Office, but that means nothing to Indian people, by the way. They were just like, she's marrying an actor, your son is doing a doctor. Yeah, she'll be okay, And then Three Idiots came out, and they're like, oh yeah, your son is the rocket scientist. Oh, that's great. Our son worked in Bollywood, the Three Idiots stuff. So it's completely different now. I'm like a made man because of that movie. It's crazy. I go any place and Indian people they love it. They love it, which is really nice to get recognition because this is a struggling business. I'll tell you. Even now, it never ends. It's a journey, they say, in this world. But yeah, a lot of people know me from Three Idiots, but they don't really realize how I got that role, which is kind of interesting because I watched no Indian movies growing up because I grew up in Joshua Tree, which is like, there are 3 Indian people. 2 of them were Native American. It was, they were like, oh, we know you run the 7-Eleven? Is that you? No, that's the other Indian guy. So, I mean, even though there were just 2, we still got misread. But it was difficult. It was difficult because back then, I don't know if many of you know this, but they used to have these, the market, the Indian market used to have basically a illegal Blockbuster where you could get DVDs and stuff, but we didn't even have that. So the only time I got to watch movies was in the plane, and they'd have the big, screen. You could, like, they're gonna play a movie at 3 a.m., some Bollywood movie. You gotta wake up and you gotta watch that movie if you want. So I was like, I was like 9 or something, and I was gonna watch a movie or something, and it was a movie called Hum. And I was like, I didn't know there were movies about humming. That sounds great. So I watched this movie, and I go to Bombay, and I'm like, chuma, chuma, de, de, going in the street, and like women are like, what is he talking about? How can he say this? So, my parents didn't let me watch movies after that, Bollywood movies. But, I just acted in American stuff, and then I went to India for a wedding, and, I was just around, and somebody through somewhere said, hey, they're auditioning for this movie. They hadn't cast any roles yet. But they're auditioning in LA. I said, I'm not in LA. Kunal Nair, all these people had auditioned. And I said, I'm in Bombay. And they said, just go to the place, you can see what it's like. And I said, okay, so I'll go. And I told them I don't speak this language. I speak Marathi at home. But it's different than Hindi. So they gave me some of Sharman Joshi's Raju Rastogi's lines. And I read them. It was like, for me, it was like reading Chinese, basically. So I sort of memorized the diction as much as I could, and I went in and I started speaking. They said, whoa, you don't speak this language? And I said, no. They're like, okay, thanks, bye. So that was my experience, and I was pretty happy. I mean, I got to go in, and I had no interest really, no expectation. I mean, how could you have expectation for a job that you're not skilled for, and you shouldn't even be in the room, right? But they called me back. They said, you know what? We're going to let you sit on this other part of the script. It's from a movie called Lage Munna Bhai. And you can just memorize it. And don't worry about the diction. Just give us Omi. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to just have some fun with this because there is no way I'm getting this role. And if you've ever been to a job interview where you don't really want the role, and you don't think you're going to get the role, how are you going to do it? You're going to be extremely confident, right? Very confident. And I wanted to have fun with the dialogues, I wanted to have some fun. So it was a justice sort of speech. And I was like, oh, let me do injustice to this speech. So it was like, nal hai lekin, pani nahi hai, And I was like, gadda zyada hai, lekin street kam, So I just started fooling around, and they just loved it. They were laughing, and then I went home. I went back to America, and I was like auditioning for How I Met Your Mother and all sorts of shows, and I guess everybody had watched it in that office, and Amir Khan and all these people had started joining the cast, and then they called me back, and I was like, oh my God, this is such a rare opportunity. I'm never going to make another Bollywood movie, probably. So you know what? Let's just take a chance and do this. And they paid rupees. Demonetized rupees. But I still did it because, as an artist, it's not, if I wanted to, I would have been a banker, maybe an AI consultant or something. But I really liked art. So I wanted to do something that really touched my heart. So, I went for it. And, the first day on set, there was this scene, ragging scene. I am Bangalore, right? A lot of you IIT people are like, yeah, ragging. We used to do that too, ragging. Yeah, it's so nice, yes. Now, the ragging is actually, now they have a term for it. It's called mental and physical abuse. Just so you know. There was one man here, he was like, I asked him upstairs, where's that guy? I don't know where he is. But he was like, oh yeah, we did ragging. I was really? He's like, yeah, they made me go naked and walk through this thing, seniors. But then after that, we really, we were all one after that. And I was like, I looked that up. It's called trauma bonding. By the way, that's what it's called. It's not a good thing. But, so I don't know. A lot of people have nostalgia about this time. But I don't know if you should, to be honest. It seems, from an outside perspective, it seems a little weird. But anyway, I'm a brand new actor, early on, and I thought, I'm sort of like the second class, right? These guys are not going to treat me, Amir Khan and Madhavan and Sharman Joshi, Kareena. So I thought that I was going to be kind of separated, but we stayed on the campus, and these guys, we all stayed in dorm rooms, basically, and that gave it a really nice feel. They were faculty rooms, but still, we all enjoy and hang out together, which was really nice. It wasn't an experience that we have in America, because in America everything is so segmented, So, having chai together and all these. So the first day of the shoot, is this ragging scene, and I had lost a lot of weight because I wanted to look very young. And then if you see me in the old, I'm, they used a comb to razor blade all my hair out, so I looked very old as well. So I had to play both of these characters, and I had to wear these American flag underwear. Did you IIT people also wear this? Is that what you're wearing it right now? Trump? Is that why? Trump? She's a MAGA. Secretly MAGA. Secretly. Just joking. We don't need to get political, but what I'm saying is, they came into the trailer and they brought my costume, and it was a gold thong. And they were like, yeah, there's been some costume change, and everyone's, the 3Ds, they're all wearing gold thongs. And I was like, I was ready to wear the other one, but this was another level. So I was really uncomfortable, but it was my first day, and I'm fully ready to do whatever is needed. I trust my director. So I just went up to him, and I mean, some of it was embarrassment, but some of it was this doesn't make sense. And I was like, sir, wearing a robe, but I wasn't wearing that yet. Sir, I don't think this is good. He's like, oh, you actually thought that was real? That was just a joke. But everybody else knew that, but I didn't. I took it very seriously. And I took that whole movie very seriously, even if you see the speech scene, which is sort of the iconic scene. By the way, this is how old I am. #1 ringtone in 2009, whatever that is. People used to buy ringtones. But, so I did the whole movie, and I went to the premiere, and I was like, maybe somebody will notice me amongst the Will Smiths and the Martin Scorseses of India, That's what I thought. And I'm walking down the red carpet, and I'm not in the trailer. I'm like, why am I not in the trailer? And they're like, oh, you're a secret. I'm like, oh, they probably cut me or something, So walking down the red carpet, and they're just like taking photos of the big star, and they're like, okay, yeah, go ahead, go through. You can go through. So, I was nobody, right? And then, Salman's there, and Shabana Azmi, a lot of people are there. I mean, these premieres were big back in the day. And that movie, the first half happens, and the speech happens, and people are laughing, and people are loving it, and and then I go to the bathroom, right, because it's an intermission, and I go to the bathroom, and I'm just like, using the urinal, and there's a guy there that's just like, what's going on? And it took me about half an hour to get back to my seat, because all of these people were just like, who is that? And the next day I was walking, just the next week I was walking down the street, and I just walk down the street, guys would be like, which is not what you think it is. I think it's something else, but no, they're just saying hello. I think that's what they're doing. I still don't know, but I could be wrong. So anyway, everything changed, right? And I did a couple more Bollywood movies, and it was a really, really great time. And I really enjoyed, and the best thing about that movie and making Bollywood movies, it allowed me to really connect back with my Indian roots. Growing up here, it's very difficult, especially in Joshua Tree. Some of you may live in enclaves, New Jersey, Princeton, right? Bay Area. How many Bay Area people here? Jesus Christ. I can't even find a white person there anymore. It's crazy. Jesus. But yes, it is really a great thing to learn some of the Hindi and learn the language and really connect with the part of me that was missing. And I feel like now, and many of you may feel this, or maybe not, that being Indian and American, being both of these things and being not fully either of them is actually not a negative. It is actually quite a positive. It makes you actually very unique. And it allows you to do much more than either part separately, because I can go over there and sort of assimilate a little bit and get into that world and be here and connect both of those things. And it's a very rare thing that we have. So I think, for me at least, I've become very proud of my Indian American identity, and I'm sure all of you have as well. And I know that we don't have that much more time, but I just want to say I'm so happy to see this many Indians, this many IITians, so many Indians here, and I haven't seen this many Indians since I went to Costco last week. Yeah. My God. Jesus. Wow. It was a Sunday. I mean, first I went to the temple, nobody was there. And then I went to Costco, and we were all worshiping consumerism. Right? Oh, man. Indians love Costco, and I'll tell you why. There's 3 reasons. One is that we love deals, right? And everything at Costco is a deal, right? It's fantastic, and Costco knows how much we like Indians like them now, that now they're starting to cater to us, right? They're doing so much, like everybody knows about the Pani Puri, right? I mean, they have a gallon of ghee there, Who's having that much, by the way? That's a lot. Or I went and they had 4 pounds of Kaju Katri. That's a lifetime supply of diabetes. It's fantastic, right? It's great. And then, of course, there's another thing about Costco that we love. the free food. Yeah, right. People, yes, because you're walking for hours down those lanes, right? And you're just like amazed, and then all of a sudden, in the way over there, there's like a, oh, I don't know, what is that? Oh, I think it's an oasis. There's an old lady with a hairnet behind a steel table, and what does she have? Oh, she has the smallest morsel of, oh, mushroom brie, yummy, yes. And if you're like me, you're like, hey baby, you want one too, right? And then you take both, you go around the corner and you eat them both, right? And you eat all these small little things. Like sometimes I'll just go there and people are like, where'd you go for lunch? And I was like, oh, I had tapas. The single reason that Indian people like Costco is the return policy. Yes. Because the one thing we like more than buying something is returning it. It feels so good, right? You feel lighter. I do, yes. My uncle, right? Every year he goes to Costco and he buys some sort of camcorder, one of these new ones, and as the TVs, he'll keep all the stickers on, he'll keep the box, he'll use it all year, and then when the new model comes out, you know what he does? He goes there and he returns it, yes, because he's kind of a terrible person, right? Yes, they changed the policy, but he did this before, but they still, on other things, he has a shed, right? That he bought 10 years ago. He doesn't have the box. He doesn't have the manual, the receipt, anything. And he went there, and you know what they did at Costco? You know what they did? They gave him his money back. Yeah. The thing is, he bought it at Walmart. Crazy. Anyway, Smita, come up here. Come up here. You know? How many years have you been part of this organization?
Oh, well, I went to school.
Yeah, no. Part of the alumni or whatever you call it, Southern California.
So I sort of started in 2005.
Yes. And how long have you been part of the board?
Well, that was the original, like, throughout. So the last
20 years?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, Smita is the reason that I'm here today, because she's like, you gotta do this. I live in LA, so she's like, you gotta come here. You got all these fans. And, you know, I just wanted to thank you by saying, you know, आज अगर हमारे IIT लोग आसमान की बुलंदियों को छू रहा है, तो उसका श्रेय सिर्फ एक लड़के को जाता है। पिछले 20 साल से आगे भी करते रहेंगे। हमें तो आश्चर्य होता है। You can come up too, sir. You also are part of this चमत्कार। हमें तो आश्चर्य होता है कि ये दो लोग आपने जीवन काल में इतने चमत्कार कैसे कर? और आपके पास वो चीज है जिसके इस दो लोगों को सख्त जरूरत है। Done your registration fees, guys. और देखिए ये कैसा इसका उपयोग करता है, okay? Thank you guys so much.